Greetings! Welcome to the Tarot Card of the Now. In this video I'm using the Halloween Tarot deck. And I'm going to pick one card to give us a little message and insight for the now. Whatever is needed when you tuned into this video. A little general insight for everyone. So let's get into the card and the message it wants to convey at this time. We have the Three of Bats. There it is. So the Three of Bats. The bat's suit in this deck is swords, and you could probably guess by the depiction in this card. There's a big old heart because the Three of Swords, or the three in this case of bats, is that big heart, and usually in other tarot decks it's swords or whatever they use as swords piercing through it. Instead we have these two bats on top that have a grip, and then you have this one that's biting it. So instead of swords piercing the heart, we have these bats kind of being harsh with it, and you have the storm clouds and the rain and the lightning. And of course the kitty cat that's in every single one of these cards. That's what I love about this deck, is this little black cat on every single card. He has his fur all up. You know how cats raise their fur on their back when they're like pissed off or feel threatened or whatever? So he's down there like that. So the Three of Bats, I really am seeing this depiction of really kind of insight and sorrow. So like when life really gets you down, when you feel like you are at your rock bottom, when you're at your rock bottom, when somebody you are very close to leaves you, when you get fired from a job you really love, you lose somebody, like through death, that type of thing. It brings us down to this bottom, and a lot of times we won't change our life, our lifestyles, ourselves until we hit that rock bottom. It's like somebody who is very toxic to their lover. They a lot of times won't see it until you give them that tough love, till you tell them it's over or whatever. And a lot of times that's the only way they're going to see. It's like people who have a drug addiction. They say you have to hit rock bottom. You have to get to the very low before it really hits you that it's a problem that you need to change. There's always an excuse, or there's always something to cover it up. There's always, I can control this, until you get to the very bottom and you look around and realize that you have to change. You have to change yourself. You have to change your lifestyle. Sometimes we just get so upset and we don't realize until we get to that bottom of our heart that what we were doing wasn't right. It can also be the person who got left. You don't realize how toxic that person was to you until they dumped you. And then you realize in the pit of your sorrow that they weren't good for me, that it was a bad relationship and it's good they left. Same thing with a job. You might think, oh, I really needed that job. But while you're sitting there and you get just down to the lowest, because it's just raining down on you, like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get another job? And all these things. And you realize, hey, this job wasn't that good for me after all. It paid my bills. But my coworkers sucked. I was totally stressed out, and it was really, sometimes when bad things happen to us, it actually changes our life for the good. And this is what this card is kind of indicating, that you get enlightenment and sorrow. And it's like those memes, talking about, well, you thought spiritual enlightenment, it was this great angel singing type moment, but it's really like you hitting rock bottom. It's just totally horrible. It's not a heavenly experience. It can be really hard experience. And really the hard times is really a lot of times what changes us the most, what gives us a lot of insight into our life. When you're comfortable, you don't want to change. And that's why uh bad things happening to us losing lovers, us losing jobs, us, you know, losing children. It could be a lot of things in our lives. They seem so horrible, but that's when we really get some insight into life. That's when things start actually coming together. It's when you realize you have to change or something has to change. That maybe it was all for the good. It's kind of that idea that this really bad thing happened, but it was all for the good because there's something better there, and you were too comfortable in the crap to realize that you need to go for something better, that your life could be better, that you were staying in this comfortable zone that really wasn't good for you. You were just comfortable enough, you didn't feel urged to change. So right now may be an urge to change. It's a reminder, the tarot is reminding us that sometimes in our sorrow we gain the greatest insight, that we need to look to how bad things happening can be good things for our lives overall. So this is what the card is talking about. It's going to hurt, or it might be something that's really plaguing you, especially in the mind. But all of this is helping you come to a breakthrough of how your life can be better, or just realizing that your life being this uncomfortable is a way to push you into doing something better instead of just kind of floating along. You need to start swimming is basically the idea here, that this is a way to push you into something better. Don't get dragged down, but realize you can start swimming and creating a better self, a better life, a better job, a better relationship, whatever. That this hard spot is really can be a turning point and can very well bring on some insights, some realizations that you just weren't getting in your comfort zone. So you're pushed out of your comfort zone because it wasn't a good comfort zone. It was nice and cushy, but come to find out, it was really just a padded room in a nut house, and you need to get out of that padded room and get into the real life and not just cozy up in the padded cushions. So that's the idea right now. That's the insight for right now. I hope it is helping you in your life, in your life path, your career path, your relationship and love path, anything you are concentrated on right now. I really hope this reaches you at the right time and really helps you. So if it did, give me a like, give me a comment, let me know how. Give me a comment if you didn't like this message. All of those things are really appreciated. I'm gonna leave it there with a blessed be.